You ever notice how the most dangerous people never look dangerous? They're quiet, calm, collected. They walk like nothing can touch them because nothing needs to. They're not trying to prove a point. They are the point. That's the difference between fake power and real power. Fake power screams, real power whispers, and everyone still hears it. See, most people think dangerous means violent. They picture some guy with tattoos, yelling, trying to look scary. But real danger isn't about who can hurt you. It's about who can control themselves when everyone else loses control. Because here's the truth. You don't stay dangerous by throwing punches. You stay dangerous by knowing exactly when not to. There's this energy certain people have, that quiet unpredictability. You can't tell what they're thinking, but you feel it. It's like standing next to a storm that's completely still. You sense the potential. You sense the depth. You sense that if they did move, it would be over. That's the kind of danger you build when you stop needing validation. When your ego stops running the show. When peace becomes your default, not a performance. Because peace, when it's earned, is powerful. And that power doesn't need to shout. You want to know the secret to staying dangerous? Master yourself. Not the world. Not other people. You, the guy who can control his emotions, is always 10 steps ahead of the guy who can't. Think about it. Most fights, physical, emotional, even digital, start because somebody couldn't handle their own emotions. They got triggered, they reacted, they lost control, and they called it defending their pride. But pride is fragile. Presence is unbreakable. You want to be the kind of man people respect? Be the one who doesn't flinch. When others panic, you breathe. When others argue, you listen. When others chase attention, you disappear and level up quietly. That's how you become a ghost in the chaos. Untouchable, unreadable, unstoppable. Here's what most people don't understand. Violence is the lowest form of dominance. It's primitive. It's easy. Any fool can throw a punch. But it takes real strength to hold one back. To let someone talk, disrespect, even underestimate you, and still not fold. Because when you know your value, you don't need to prove it. When you have real power, you can walk away and still win. That's what real danger looks like. In psychology, there's something called the paradox of control. The more you try to control everything, the less control you actually have. But the moment you stop reacting to what's outside you and focus on mastering what's inside you, everything changes. You stop trying to dominate people. You start dominating your impulses. You start noticing patterns. You start moving strategically. You don't respond from emotion. You respond from clarity. That's what the greats all had in common. Marcus Aurelius, Bruce Lee, even Kobe Bryant. Different eras, same principle. Emotional control equals dominance. Bruce Lee said it best. Learn to control your emotions or they will control you. And when your emotions control you, you're predictable. Predictable men are never dangerous. See, unpredictability is power. Not the chaotic kind, not the I might explode any second kind, but the calm, deliberate kind, the kind that makes people second guess what you'll do next. You know why? Because you don't run on impulse, you run on intent. People can fake kindness, they can fake confidence, but they can't fake intent. And when your intent is clean, you move differently, you speak differently, you carry yourself differently. You don't chase respect, it finds you. You don't demand attention, it follows you. Because your energy says, I don't need to prove anything, but I can if I want to. That's the essence of staying dangerous without being violent. Here's something no one tells you. You can't fake calm. You can fake a smile, fake humility, fake confidence. But you can't fake calm under pressure. Your energy gives you away. Calmness is earned. It's built from battles no one saw. It's built from all those nights you wanted to react, but didn't. All those times you wanted revenge, but chose silence. All those moments you were underestimated, and you let them. Because you knew your growth didn't need an audience. That's the type of discipline that terrifies people. Because it's rare. Because it's unpredictable. Because it's power in its purest form. Controlled, invisible, and patient. Let's talk about patience for a second. Most people mistake patience for weakness, but patience is precision. A patient man isn't slow, he's calculating. He waits because he knows exactly what he's waiting for. He's not reacting, he's observing. And when he moves, it's decisive. No wasted words, no wasted effort. That's the kind of energy that shifts a room without saying a word. That's the kind of man people respect, fear, and can't quite understand. because everyone else is loud, desperate, and emotionally unstable. But you're still. And stillness is magnetic. You want to know what's really dangerous? A man who's mastered both warmth and boundaries. The guy who can show empathy, but won't tolerate disrespect. Who can be kind, but never soft. Who can care without being controlled. That balance confuses people. They don't know whether to admire you or fear you. And that's exactly where you want to be, right in the middle. Because being too soft gets you walked on. Being too hard makes you bitter. But that balanced energy, that's untouchable. That's the man who can shake your hand calmly while knowing he doesn't need you. Here's another truth. Staying dangerous means staying ready. Physically, mentally, emotionally. Hit the gym. Not for vanity, but for discipline. Because every rep is teaching your brain one thing. I can do hard things and stay calm. Read books. Study history. Learn how power works, how people manipulate, how fear spreads. Understand it, so you can't be controlled by it. Keep your circle small, your moves quiet, your standards high. Not because you're arrogant, but because the energy is currency and you don't spend yours recklessly. You know what's funny? Most people will never understand this kind of danger because they think danger is something you show, but real danger is something you become. It's internal, invisible, rooted in control, discipline, and peace. You want to scare people in the right way? Stop reacting. Stop explaining yourself. Stop chasing validation. Start moving with quiet certainty. Let your actions confuse them. Let your silence speak louder than their noise. That's how kings move. That's how legends build. That's how warriors survive, and even in peaceful times. There's a quote I love. Beware of the man who has nothing to prove. Because once a man stops trying to prove who he is, he finally becomes it. That's it. That's the energy, the shift from trying to being. See, most people live in reaction mode. They walk around with invisible scoreboards in their heads, keeping track of who doubted them, who ignored them, who underestimated them. Every move they make is secretly to prove a point to someone who probably isn't even watching. But the man who has nothing to prove, he moves differently. He's not performing for the crowd. He's not chasing validation. He's not begging to be understood. Because he knows the moment you need people to see your worth, you've already handed them the power to define it. That's why true power is quiet. It's not about convincing. It's about conviction. You don't fight for recognition, you radiate it. People just feel it, even if they can't explain it. You become the kind of presence that walks into a room and changes the temperature without saying a word. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. Your danger isn't in your aggression. It's in your restraint, your control, your silence. Because silence makes people uncomfortable. It forces them to fill in the blanks, and most of the time, their imagination makes you 10 times more powerful than you actually are. You've become so grounded that no insult can move you, so centered that no flattery can control you, so focused that no chaos can distract you. That's when you know you've leveled up, when both praise and hate feel the same, irrelevant. You don't get triggered by disrespect because you've stopped outsourcing your peace. You don't need revenge because your growth is the revenge. And you don't care about proving them wrong anymore because you're too busy proving yourself right. When you reach that level of peace, people feel it before you say a word. It's in your posture, your tone, the stillness in your eyes. You stop chasing outcomes and start attracting them. That's when the world starts to bend around your energy, not because you forced it, but because you stopped forcing yourself. See, power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it just breathes, it watches, it waits. And when it moves, everything moves with it. So if you want to stay dangerous, stop chasing power. Start building it, quietly, patiently, relentlessly. Train your body not to impress anyone, but to remind yourself that you can endure, that you can carry weight, that you can stay disciplined when it's easier not to. Sharpen your mind. Read, observe, learn. Because intelligence is still the most underrated weapon in the world. Protect your peace like it's your currency. Because it is. Once you lose peace, you'll spend years trying to buy it back. Through people, through status, through noise. Don't move to prove. Move with purpose, because when a man moves with purpose, he doesn't chase and he draws. He doesn't react. He responds. He doesn't talk about what he's going to do. He just does it. And when life tests you, and it will, don't react. Don't flinch. Don't beg the moment to be easier. Just smile. Because you've seen worse. You've survived worse. You've rebuilt from nothing before. And you'll do it again if you have to. That's why the calmest man in the room is always the one who could destroy it, if he wanted to. But he doesn't need to, because his peace is louder than any war you could start. That's real danger. Not chaos, not violence, just presence. So remember this. Stay calm, stay sharp, stay grounded, and let the world wonder how someone so peaceful can feel so dangerous. Because that's the ultimate flex. Not being feared, but being felt.